Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Schorr. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. It was the best story in professional sports. A team that nobody thought would win became all the way to the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's an amazing story. The question is, what happens now? Where do they go from here? Our very special guest on the program today is the man who was the president of the Vegas Golden Knights, Kerry Bubolz. You'll meet him, his insights, his feelings in just a few moments. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Success. It's one of those things that when you see it, you know it. In the sports world, success is a fleeting thing. But when you see it, you know it. Vegas Golden Knights are the biggest success that I have ever seen in my 40-plus years in this business. Our very special guest on the program today is a man so directly involved with that success, and we're honored to have him here, Kerry Bubolz, who is the president of the Vegas Golden Knights. Welcome, my friend, to our program.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for those kind words. That sounds good, but I really appreciate it.
Okay, I've been involved in the past with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Phillies, San Diego Padres, the various different organizations, and I don't know one of those. And I've been in championships and everything else. I don't know one of those that surpassed what you did last year as a team. You were truly the success story in all of sports this past year.
Well, well, first of all, I think the market deserves some credit for that too, and we're proud of what happened on the ice. We're proud of everything that happened in terms of our business and how it unfolded. But I think this market deserves a lot of credit as well. To me, this was a market that was waiting for this type of an opportunity. And so regardless of wins and losses, to me, this was going to be a huge success in terms of business and interest and how they were following the team. Obviously, with what happened on the ice, it just went to another level. And we talk a lot internally about the marketing funnel, right? You kind of take people through these stages of fandom, but I have never seen a market go from where you introduce it to all the way to what I'd call that diehard type fandom where they're following the team at every channel that they possibly can, and we're really fortunate. It's an incredible spot to be, but with that comes expectations and opportunity as we look forward as part of our second season here.
But Kerry, I was there the night that they rolled out the name of the team in front of the T-Mobile Arena.
Right.
I was there that night. I was there at the excitement, but it was exciting. It was thrilling. As the season grew, though, it stopped being just exciting.
Right.
It became exhilarating. Now, you've done a lot of things in your career. You were there when the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship. They hadn't done that in ages.
Right.
How does this balance to you in comparison to the things that you've done in the past? Was it that exhilaration?
It was, and it was probably more personally rewarding. What happened in Cleveland, it was 52 years, by the way, since they had won their last championship at a major professional level, and it was the Cleveland Browns, and franchise history for the Cavaliers. They had never won a championship, and so it was a long period of time, and that was exciting and that was fun, but I didn't feel as personally connected to it because so much of what we did was about the team on the court and their accomplishments. This one was different. It just felt more connected. It felt like we truly were a part of what was happening. And again, it wasn't just wins and losses. It was almost a community movement that was taking place. And again, we're proud of that. We're proud to be a part of the fabric of this community and just the role that we played in connecting this community in a different way maybe than it had ever been connected before. And we talk a lot about that internally, about our role in the community, and we definitely saw that play out this past season.
I don't know if I will ever forget the night of the opening when the team, when everyone involved did their tribute to the victims of 1 October and first responders that were there for 1 October. That, as far as I'm concerned, I'm curious what you think, that solidified your partnership. And I think you're not just a sports team anymore, you're a partner with the community. That solidified your partnership with the community.
Yeah, and in a very interesting way, it probably did, and certainly that wasn't any intent on behalf of the team. When the tragedy happened, you just on instinct, you go about and try and just do things that you think are the right things, and getting our players out to help be a part of the healing process. And it wasn't just our organization; companies from all over the valley were stepping forward and getting their employees, and just wherever, whether it was supplies or assistance with additional blood that might be needed, whatever was needed. And so we were just doing like every other Las Vegas business. But yeah, they're definitely, after that October 10th home opener, and the presentation, and then just the kind of that 2 to 3 hour period of time where people forgot about that and just smiled and had a good time, that there was some kind of a unique transition. I felt it. I don't know that I still to this day understand it, but I definitely felt it, and it's real.
It's that partnership with the community.
Right.
And when you go to the stadium, for those from not in Las Vegas who maybe have never been to the T-Mobile Arena, the creation of the T-Mobile Arena for the Vegas Golden Knights, I think, added to everything, from the drummers to the Golden Aces to even the folks that go on the ice to clean up.
Right.
It's all part of it.
It is. It's an experience, and that was definitely something that we were focused on. We knew that we were introducing a new sport to a market that certainly had a strong hockey presence, but maybe not as deep as other markets around North America. And we wanted to make sure that, at least with the entertainment reputation of this great city, that we kind of matched the hockey part with the off-ice entertainment, and we felt like we did that. And for me, every single part of it, the horn when we score a goal, the music, the warm-ups, all of these different points and times.
The national anthem.
The national anthem, it's all a part of the event itself, and we wanted to make those moments big, and not just afterthoughts, but important parts of our event and our show. And we took a lot of pride in it, and we also had a lot of fun with it last year. And it was nice to see the recognition that we received because of it. But it all starts on the ice in terms of the guys that make it happen with our players.
So you have players, some players that were already living in Las Vegas that have now created foundations to help people in Las Vegas. To the players in the locker room after games, is it that this is my town, I'm winning for my town, or is it my team? Which one comes first?
I would say if you were to go back a year ago, as guys were just arriving, they were coming here just to play hockey. And so it was really more about playing for your team. What I think developed between, again, what happened on October 1, the way the team connected with the community and all of the different events that we did this past year, and then ultimately what happened in the playoffs and getting to the Stanley Cup final, I really do think that changed. And the best quote that I heard, Jonathan Marchessault, one of our top players, we're really proud of him, but he said, "I came to Las Vegas to play hockey, and I found a home." And I just thought that was such a great way to state it, because there were so many other guys like Nate Schmidt and Riley Smith, all these guys that came from these other markets, and they just came here to play hockey because that was their job, and they were picked through the expansion draft, but they really truly did find a home, and that means a lot. It really does, and it speaks to that bond that you were talking about that's developed, and it really was neat to see that happen.
Well, the other thing that's interesting and curious to me is that, listen, we're still an expansion team. We're the expansion team here in Las Vegas. Typically, expansion teams don't get a great amount of love from around the country. But if any place that I go and I wear Golden Knights clothing, whether it be a shirt or whether it be a pin, any place that I go, people recognize the Golden Knights, recognize Vegas, and are impacted by it. And I'm, to be honest with you, I mean, like I said, I've been involved with the Flyers for a long time when I was in Philadelphia. you never expected that. I never expected that.
No, and I don't think anybody could have expected it. Again, I think it was a combination of a lot of factors. One, I think just Las Vegas in general, people have just a natural affinity for the market. It's a place that they look to come and have a great time at. And so I think that was a small piece of it. The tragedy that happened and all of the folks around North America that saw our community come together in the way that it did, I think it helped connect them again to the market in a different way. And then as the team started to play well and get more of the recognition, and then of course start to appear on national TV and even some of the global TV outlets that we have, the visibility, the fact that we were an expansion team, that underdog, if you will, and I think people generally like to root for an underdog.
Hey, listen, at the beginning, we were picked as last.
That's last in the whole league.
Whole league.
That's right. That's right. And so it was a 500 plus to 1 odds right here at the Westbrook or the Westgate
that you could win the Stanley Cup.
That we could win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. So, but I think it was kind of all of those factors. And then if they were hockey fans in general, once their team was no longer involved in the race for the cup, we definitely heard from a lot of people saying, we're rooting for you guys. And so we kind of became everybody's second favorite team if they already had a favorite team. But if they didn't, we became their favorite team. And it really was amazing. You mentioned, just your own experience with wearing the gear. But we heard from people all over the world. And so I don't want to say we took advantage of that, but we thought, you know what? If there really is this fandom around the world, why don't we create retail products? And so we created a shirt that said, I'm from, and then you'd go in and write in. I'm from Oklahoma.
But I'm
a Vegas Golden Knights fans, and we actually, as we were hearing from people around the world, we said, look, if we send you a shirt, will you fill it in, and then
take a picture of
it? Or do a quick video, and then just send it out to all your friends. And that really started to snowball on a social basis, and the amount of orders that we sold with that shirt. And again, it was just another one of those small little things that we did this past year that helped build what we're doing.
I'm going to take a break for a couple seconds. When I come back, I want to talk about something you did very big about the team and what it does. I'll let you sit there and worry about what I'm going to say, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Martin Ravenhill. I am the proprietor, owner of the Liberace Mansion, and I welcome you and invite you to explore all of the incredible features we have available at this historic house. Liberace lived here from 1974 until his death in 1987. Since then, I've been able to remodel and restore this house to its former glory. Here we have 15,000 square feet of amazing historic space available for weddings, ceremonies, corporate events, and charity fundraisers. The Liberace Mansion. There is no place like it in the world.
Typically, sports teams, whether you're from Las Vegas or Oakland or wherever your team is from, does a lot of things for the community. It's part of what they do. Sports figures like to do those things. I think what was done in Las Vegas goes an extra step forward. A very special guest, once again, the president of the Vegas Golden Knights, Kerry Bubolz. All right, Kerry, you created a foundation to do various different things in this community. And I've been involved in other teams in the past. But to the level that you created this foundation, this partnership with the community, goes far and beyond what I had seen before. Is it a part of what the team thought was important? Is it a part of what Bill Foley believed was important? Is it a part of what Kerry Bubolz was important? Where did that come from?
Well, for me personally, it was already something that I knew was important. But ultimately, in the very first interview that I had with Bill Foley, I remember him talking about we're going to be out there in the community as often as we can. We're going to work hard to say yes to everything that we can. We're going to build a foundation, and we're going to utilize the platform of the team to raise money and do great things in the community. What I tried to do once I was offered the opportunity was give it more of a brand internally with our team members, our line mates, which is our business staff. And we have a little saying. It says that community is a contact sport, just like hockey. And I'm constantly repeating that internally, and I'm also constantly reminding them that we have a responsibility to say yes as often as we possibly can when it comes to a community request and the community needs.
Okay,
and
so I got to tell you. So Chance, one of the great mascots, along with some of the Golden Aces, the cheerleading team, came to Schorr Elementary School. They were there for 5 lunch periods with my students. They were amazing. The students, these are elementary school children, they responded in such an amazing way. That's part of what you're bringing to the community.
It really is, and obviously youth, education, wellness, the development of the game of hockey at the youth level. I mean, it all kind of fits within that same bucket of opportunity for us. And so again, for me, it's not just doing what's right, but it's also just good for our business. And so wherever we can take, and the great thing is we have this incredible platform to do this. At each and every Vegas Golden Knights game, we have what we call the 51-49 raffle. And we are literally raising hundreds of thousands of dollars through that. It's not a lot of work to do it. Our fans are ultimately stepping forward and participating in the program, but it allowed us to raise, a significant amount of money that we could then utilize to give back to all of these needy organizations throughout the valley.
And you're creating great partnerships with companies.
Absolutely.
Airlines, Allegiant Airline, for instance. You're creating these great partnerships to solidify what it's all about.
That's absolutely. Allegiant, the folks over at the D Hotel, they provided a significant multi-year commitment.
Amazing.
He is, and
amazing.
He wanted to make sure that kids at the youth level, that there was proper funding to develop the game of hockey and help take some of the barriers of cost for equipment and things like that. And so, those are just 2 great examples of multiple companies that have said, how can we partner together? And more companies are also saying, how do we get our employees together to go do other good things in our community? There's a significant problem with homelessness here in the valley. So how do we help in that and help feed people that need that assistance? And so it's not just at the youth level in terms of what we're trying to do there. We're really trying to do good things all over the community. But it really does start with the platform that the team provides, which allows us to raise a lot of money and find great partners, and then get that money out there as fast as we can.
Let me throw a couple names at you.
Sure.
You react.
Okay.
Bill Foley.
Decisive. He is very decisive in his decision making, and he has made me a better leader. The thing I love about Bill is he doesn't want you to overthink your decisions. He wants you to make decisions. As he often reminds me, we hired George for your decisions. And if you miss, then it's kind of that military background that he had through West Point. But it's ready, aim, fire again, because your training should lead to the right decision, but sometimes you miss. And he doesn't like us taking too much time. So decisive is one word that really comes to mind when I think about Bill Foley, and it's served him incredibly well in his business career.
George McPhee.
Chess player.
Really?
Yes. He's always 2 steps ahead of every single person he's talking to, and you can see it in his mind. Sometimes I'm talking to him and I'm wondering, all right, what chess game is he playing with me today? because he's always 2 steps ahead in his thoughts. And what he was able to do last year during the expansion draft, the way he looked differently at that process, I think it's one of the greatest sports executive accomplishments I think that there's ever been in building an organization on the ice or on the court or on the field. And I think the guy's an absolute genius. And so, yeah, he's a chess player all the time.
Was
and it's
he
amazing.
negatively impacted when Carlson decided to go to San Jose? Because I knew he wanted him.
Well, I think, you know, it's one of those things where whether it's Carlson or any other player that you think might be a fit in your organization, you make decisions, you create conversations and opportunity, but ultimately there's a certain point in time where if a relationship isn't going to be possible, then you have to move on. And that's, you know, that, of course, he's doing that all day long. It's a big part of his role, and so you have to, you know, there has to be a certain point where you just decide, hey, it's not the right fit anymore, and you move on. And if sometimes they say this, the best deal that you made is the deal that you didn't make. And, you know, to make a deal like that happen probably was going to cost some of our younger players, and you just don't know. And so anyway, I don't think there was a lot of time spent after the fact when he decided to go on to San Jose, you know, worrying about, well, what could we have done differently? He did everything he could, and ultimately it just didn't work out.
Gerard Gallant.
He unique ability to breed confidence. He took a group of players, many of which last year in their previous situations, the only thing they lacked was opportunity and confidence, and he gave them confidence. And he has a very unique ability to do that with a player. And the number of stories that I've heard from our players about mistakes that they made, and in their previous environment, they might have been pulled out of the game immediately, and maybe they didn't play for several games. Not only does he give them confidence, but he puts them right back on the ice. And I noticed that numerous times last year where a guy you'd see make a clear mistake, would give up a goal. It wasn't even like sit out a shift. It was you're back on the ice because he's constantly trying to reinforce that you're out there for a reason.
So I'll tell you what my reaction is, and you go from there, okay? Out of all all of the coaches that I've seen, he's probably one of the leading to build team. And what I saw on the ice was team,
right? Not
individual.
Yeah, no, and actually that really does start with Bill Foley. He, you know, in terms of George and myself and Gerard, and it's people with low egos that are really focused kind of on one picture, that everybody's, you know, rowing in the same direction, to use that analogy. But you know, Gerard has just done an unbelievable job, and there was a lot of thought to what is the dynamic of the locker room, and they absolutely nailed it last year. They did a fantastic job.
I've stayed away from pushing you to a point of trying to predict what this year will bring, but season's begun. You have hopes?
I have hopes because I know that our experts on the hockey side, George McPhee, right on down, believe that we've made our team better. They were very focused, right? I mean, as soon as the game ended against Washington, I can remember even over those next several days, they were already locked in. It wasn't like, let's just shut it down for a few weeks. They were already locked in at that point. They knew, and of course, there were some other things from a league perspective with the draft and other things that caused that focus and intensity, but they knew exactly where our opportunity was, and they went out to address it. And that's, you know, we brought in 2 new players with Pacioretty and Stastny.
Great player.
They're going to be terrific additions, and as our fans get to know them better, they're going to fall in love with these guys, and they're smart. As our coach always says, they're two-way players, 200-foot players. So they're not just here for their offensive abilities, but their ability to do other things. I know Stastny, his statistics on the face-off draw is one of the
Amazing.
best. One
Amazing.
of the best in the league. And candidly, we weren't that strong in those areas last year. And these are all the little things that maybe we came up short on this past year against Washington in the finals.
Well, let me say this to you, that as somebody who's been in this community for 40 years, I am honored that the Vegas Golden Knights are here. I'm more honored of what you represent in this community and the things that you've already done with this community. And I thank you for being on the program today, but I thank you more for those things day after day after day that you're doing and the team's doing to make this a stronger and better community. So I'm honored to know you, my friend.
Well, and I feel the same way, and I appreciate that, because that's something that, as I said before, we take that very seriously, and we really believe it's our secret sauce, and it's not something that we're going to slow down on just despite tremendous success on the ice. To me, it all works together, and you just got to keep doing it, and that's what you're going to see from our organization as we head forward into our second season.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a couple seconds with some final words. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Frankie Shinta, downtown's king of entertainment. You're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
It will be very interesting to see where the team goes this year, but I promise you this, it will be exciting, it will be great for the fans, and great for the Las Vegas community and all of the National Hockey League. I'm Steve Schorr. Until the next time, be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.